It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to
Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Kenneth Walker! Touchdown! Spotty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown to Craig Myers! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 13th day of June, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Gala, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. And, of course, you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. Happy Tuesday. What's going on over there? How are you? How was your day yesterday?
Well, the Tigers got their first win in the month of June. So that's nice. I took a long nap after my weekend, so I'm feeling better today.
This is good.
Feeling recovered. Stayed up late though.
Late.
Watching the the post game reactions and Stan Kroenke whispering in Lisa Salter's ear.
Yeah, they gotta stop giving the trophy and the microphone to the owner in all sports. Like, really, they don't really do a whole lot. You know, they don't really do a whole lot.
I like that he calls him yoke.
Yeah.
Like he's actually yoked when
he was a chubby teenager. And then it's like, okay, Stan, why don't you just fall off this podium real quick? You just get off this stage, and we'll be okay. You know, pull a Joey Byron and go trip and fall over something, and get the hell out of here, because nobody wants to hear from the owner anyways. Did you hear the fans booing him? They were booing him. He's like, oh, the fans. They're great fans. And they're booing him. He's like, see? I'm like, dude, get this guy out of here with his toupee. Oh, man. It's a lot. I don't know why they always go to the owner first. It's dumb. We don't care. We, the fans, do not care. Like, and if you were a good owner, you'd walk up there and say, hey, she's like, Stan, come over here. And
I don't know. I could not tell you who the general manager is, but I did. Did you hear from that person? Because that person, I would put that at like third most credit. I would say it's probably maybe fourth. I would maybe put it at like Joker, Jamal Murray, Coach Malone, and then the general manager.
Bruce Brown.
Oh, yeah. It certainly wasn't Caleb Martin. Well, he helped the Heat lose by just never moving his feet.
my thing is, like, if you're a good owner, when they're like, Stan, come over here. And you're like, you know what? Hey, I'll talk at another time. This is about
That's such a
players.
good, yes, that's a good
this
point.
This is about the coach, our coach, Mike Malone, our great players. God, I don't touch the trophy. This is about these guys. This is about you, the fans, and this is about this team that did something that nobody thought that they could. Lisa, go talk to them. And then just exit stage door left. You'd be a hero. They would talk positively about, but they can't. It's just so much ego. They just got microphones over here, and he's like, Lisa. It's like, what are you doing, Stan?
She's like nearly shoving,
like moving the microphone back into his face.
She's like trying to like put it under his nose and like move his face up from away from hers.
Can you imagine the warm milk breath that Stan Kroenke had on that stage? Just old, just breathing like a dragon. That's probably why she was all creeped out. Her neck's probably all moist still from that. Yeah, lots of reaction.
Give her credit, Lisa Salters, because that was like, what'd she do? 20 minutes of interviews by herself, just standing there on the stage. Very well done.
Yeah, you could probably update that position, but I'm not gonna go down that line. She's a professional. That's she's great. She did her job. She's out there on an island. I like how she had to interview Jokic right after for television and then had to interview him on the stage. What was the point of that? The double whammy. Obviously, the people in the crowd, they get the stage interview while they didn't get the on-cam television interview, which was absolute gold. I mean, that is the best team in the NBA. I like Miami a lot. Denver, all they have to do is figure out a way to create a good Denver Nuggets jersey. And that right there that's a team. Rocky Mountain Round Ball is a thing. I mean, Jokic is everything Rudy Gobert couldn't be in Utah. For me, there was really no excuse that Utah couldn't have had very, very similar success. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Joe Ingles. Like, they had some pretty good teams in Utah that had to get blown up because apparently Gobert and Donovan couldn't get along. But regardless, the Denver Nuggets are a team that the NBA...
Well, you could just tell. I mean, even like, I didn't get to watch the whole game, but what I saw, you could tell, like, the Nuggets figured out some of the sets that the Heat were running and were taking advantage of it. Meanwhile, the Nuggets had fresh stuff even late into the fourth quarter. Like, the Heat were just getting schooled on every inbound play. It's like, run something new.
Yeah, and, I felt bad, and I tweeted this, and right after I tweeted this, Jimmy Butler at the time was like 2 for 12. Right, and then he just went on an absolute tear right after I hit send on the tweet that, it's just Jimmy Butler. It's not Himmy Butler, right? It's a really bad game and a really big moment for Jimmy Butler.
And that's just who Jimmy Butler is. It's like he has these moments where he can come up big, but then it's like, there's a reason why he's always debated is he a top 25 NBA player? Because he doesn't have the offensive skill like Tatum has, like Jamal Murray has. Like, he just tries really, really hard.
And you're right, because it's pretty clear he does. Like, they shot 6 foul shots in the entire second half, and they were all in the last 3 minutes. How do you not get fouled? You're in the NBA Finals. You have to go to the rack.
Well, I mean, the officials there early on, I'm like, okay, guys. All right. I see. Kyle Lowry, that was a pretty disappointing and frustrating performance to watch from Kyle Lowry last night. More on that game. Tim McCormick will join us. Kyle Barlow will join us. Jokic, the real MVP. Plenty of hoops coverage. Plus, Torkelson did something positive. We'll get to all that and more here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at tullymoregolf.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So great to be riding along with you. And, we were picking on Stan Kroenke a little bit, the elderly owner of the Denver Nuggets. But I don't know if there's been another
the crypt keeping owner of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been another owner that's had a run of success like Kroenke has had. I don't give a rat's behind about Major League Lacrosse. It's not one of the big four. You might be a big Colorado Mammoth fan, and that's awesome, but I hadn't even heard of what the hell the Colorado Mammoth, what they are. Mammoths, plural, more than one. But they won the National Lacrosse League Championship, whatever that is. So, I mean, if you're into that, that's cool. Good for you. I'm not, nor do I care. Not one of the big four. It's not really, whatever. But Rams Super Bowl in February the 13th of 2022. The Colorado Avalanche then won the Stanley Cup in the same year on June 26th of 2022. And then last night, the Denver Nuggets on June 12th of 2023 win the NBA championship. He also owns Arsenal, but they haven't won the Premier League since 2004. They're not going to anytime soon. And the Colorado Rapids of Major League Soccer. That's quite the run for the old crypt keeper there, as he will be forever known as on this program, Stan Kroenke. I mean, that is I don't know if he's liked. Like, I don't think the Denver fans like him because they were booing the hell out of him. I don't know what he's really done that you would boo him. I know that isn't it his sister? His sister tried to sue him, or do I have the wrong ownership group? Is it the Kroenkes that are going through a big family divide, kind of like what you'd see on an HBO series, like Succession? There's a little bit of lawsuit. I could be mistaken.
I'm Googling.
I thought it was the Kroenkes that had that issue where the sister was going to sue the brothers and Stan because, I don't know, something had to do with the Rams. And I'm like, dude, there's always one in every family. It never fails. There's always one in every family. Those parasitic children that just do not go away. They just don't go away. What was the quote in the movie? You just won't die. Like, yeah, there's always one of those in every family. They don't do much to contribute.
Oh yeah, so they are
being sued, right?
I don't know I don't know because they're part of his wife is part of the Walton family, so they both have money.
So he was sued for paying the rest of the NFL relocation fee. I'm not seeing anything about a family member suing him, but he was sued to pay the city of St. Louis a huge amount of money for relocating the team.
Yeah, taking him to L.A.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Spanos family that I'm thinking of then. That could be. Like I said, I wasn't sure, but somebody's sister, there's an NFL owner, and in the family, the sister is going rogue.
You are correct. The Chargers owner, Dean Spanos, sued by sister.
Good luck. Good luck. They have quite the plethora of teams as well, as there are more and more ownership groups buying up more and more sports properties. But good for, I think that what's really nice about the Denver Nuggets is that this should be a team that the NBA should be showcasing. This should be a team that the NBA is highlighting because, there wasn't a rogue superstar who, cried his way off of a team. There wasn't somebody who did a whole bunch of load management. They got a whole bunch of guys coming back from injuries. I mean, Jamal Murray's knee, Porter Jr.'s back, Aaron Gordon's injured career, and, the Joker himself. But You just put together a bunch of guys that play really well together as a team. And I feel like that should be something that the NBA and the NBA media should be highlighting. That should be something that they are propping up. That should be something in the forefront instead of this constant circus that's always surrounding all of these other teams with all of their different, drama-filled soap opera stars. At the very end of the game, Nikola Jokic is speaking to Lisa Salters afterwards. And, I don't know if she asked him, like, how do you feel? What are you going to do? And he said, he was concluding the rest of his thought. And he said, the job is done. We can go home now. Just very, very workmanlike. Malika Andrews, if you win the finals, are you going to buy another horse? He said, yeah, probably, even if I lose. Like, simple people. Not a whole lot of glitz and glam. I don't remember seeing any of these guys on League Fits, the account that follows what guys wear as they walk into the locker room, and we pretend like this is some sort of red carpet so Russell Westbrook can dress like a traffic cone. Like, come on. What are we doing? Like these are the stories you should be telling. This is it. The Joker this postseason. 600 points, 279 rebounds, and 190 assists. First in all three of those categories. Like, that's insane.
Were you surprised that he led in all that? He was the first guy to lead in all three? That seems
I was surprised
peculiar to me.
Because I saw a stat that had LeBron James involved in it. And I saw the stat a couple days ago. I don't remember exactly what it was. But it was LeBron James and Joker, and Larry Bird was in there. That was important. I'm trying to think. It was LeBron, Larry, and LeBron. LeBron, Larry, and Jokic were the only three to ever achieve it. I just got to find exactly where that stat was at and what it said, because they caught me a little off guard. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting, if you will, to see a statistic like this where those three are at the top. Am I surprised by it? It's a pretty ridiculous feat.
Yeah, but there's also, you would just think, like, at some point, like, Magic could have done it, perhaps. I don't know about Michael. Michael wasn't much of a, wasn't the best rebounder or sharer of the basketball. Yeah, I just thought, like, even Bill Russell, that could have been an option for him back in the day. Maybe they weren't really keeping, like, super great stats back then.
Postseason runs with at least 500 points, 150 rebounds, and 150 assists in NBA history. Jokic this year, LeBron James in 2018, 16, 15, 13, and 07, and Larry Bird in 1987. That was the number. So I wasn't necessarily, like, shocked that he led in all three, because it's very much like, the guy's a triple-double machine. Meaningful triple-doubles, too, not just hunting down, stat hunting and grabbing rebounds because his teammates are letting him get him off of free throws. And nobody goes for a rebound, and they let him go get it because he's chasing some, hollow statistic. Golf season is here. Matt Golden and his team are ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. Tullymore Golf Resort, located in Canadian Lakes. That's an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It is smack dab in the middle of the state, so it's easy to get to no matter where you are located. Not only featuring top-of-the-line golf, but also top-of-the-line accommodations and top-of-the-line golf carts and a beautiful top-of-the-line clubhouse with exquisite food. TullymoreGolf.com is the website, TullymoreGolf.com, or you can call 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. We'll be back with my conversation with Tim McCormick prior to yesterday's game next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Bill Simonson here from my good friends at Bean Garter. They're now a Dorn Mayhew firm. They're based in Troy, where Dorn Mayhew is located on the east side of the state. Bean Garter will stay in their existing location in downtown Grand Rapids, and Josh Garvey has been named the managing shareholder. Josh was appointed by Dorn Mayhew's board of directors, and Josh will lead the West Michigan office in downtown Grand Rapids in its vision, growth, culture, strategy, and client relationships. And Josh is very honored to lead the Grand Rapids office forward as the next managing shareholder. Bean Garter has had the privilege of serving the West Michigan market for nearly 75 years. And Josh's vision is to uphold that commitment and keep their firm focused on creating meaningful impact relationships in their local community. Congratulations to Josh Garvey, as Bean Garter and Dorn Mayhew are now stronger together.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, folks, a reminder. Get in on the DraftKings casino action. It's nonstop where you get to play the classics like blackjack, roulette, slots, plus enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 can get a match of their first deposit and score up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. All you got to do is sign up, select the offer of your choice, and start playing from a full suite of games. Download the DraftKings Casino app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE, and get a match of your first deposit of $5 up to $2,000 in your hand in casino bonus funds only at DraftKings Casino, only using the promo code HUGE. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus Michigan, only one per opted-in customer. Minimum $5 deposit, max match $2,000. Deposit and bonus amount requires 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions do apply. Time now to get to my conversation with the great Tim McCormick.
Veteran. He is a Michigan man, and he's also studio analyst and on the scene all the time. Bally Sports Detroit, covering the Detroit Pistons. Our good friend Tim McCormick. Find him on Twitter at Tim McCormick40. Uncle Tim, how are you, my friend? Long time no talk. How's life, partner?
Fantastic, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm trying to live the dream. That's all I'm trying to do. Just one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, and a lot of excitement right now around this Pistons organization. We talked about it ad nauseum. The 22-23 campaign was probably one we'd like to forget about a little bit. There were some bright spots, the development of the young Jaden Ivey, the development of Jalen Duren and what he might bring, but the hiring of Monty Williams to lead the charge now for this franchise. When you saw the news break, what were you thinking? How is this? What's this fit going to look like for Detroit?
It makes sense. And when you look at where the organization is, they need somebody that is going to be a little bit more of a closer. I didn't love the idea of a guy coming in that had never coached in the NBA as a head coach. I think that Monty Williams is high character. He's a good Christian man, which means a lot to me. He is no nonsense. I think he's a very creative offensive coach. And I also like the fact that he's walked this journey before. He took over a horrible Phoenix Suns franchise that won 19 games the year before he arrived. And then the last 2 years, they've been among the best in the NBA. I was shocked that Phoenix pulled the trigger and got rid of him, because I think that he is the guy that is perfect.
And they've also made some other additions to their coaching staff as well. Steven Silas is going to join Monty Williams. This seems like this is going to be a pretty good fit as well. A guy coming over from the Houston Rockets who's obviously had some experience with a very, very young roster there in Houston. A lot of folks like to try to mirror the success of the two teams or the failures of the two teams and pit one against another. And maybe that goes back to the Cade Cunningham draft pick and some other things there where it gets the internet a buzz. But as far as the assemblance of Monty's staff to this point, how do you feel?
I played for Paul Silas, so I've known Steven since he was a little boy, and he's a great basketball mind. Now there's a lot of intangibles that go with being a head coach, and I think that he might not be as suited to be the general as the lieutenant or the colonel. I think he's a really good basketball mind. It didn't work out in Phoenix. It seemed like, in games where John Lucas took over for Steven Silas, he's got so much experience. It seemed like the Rockets did better in those scenarios. Mark Bryant is a renowned big man coach, and I think he will help Wiseman. I think he'll help Duren and all the Pistons big guys. And they need help because, last year I think they got by a lot on skill, and now it's good to add some tricks.
Now, when we take a look at the development of the Pistons bigs, I'm one of those people that I have no problem with the way that this roster has, been constructed to this point with Marvin Bagley. I think that there's something there that, hopefully he can tap into and begin to kind of stretch his game a little bit further toward the outside. I love Jalen Durham. I can't get enough of that guy. I like Isaiah Stewart. I just think that maybe he's a little undersized to be an everyday starter in the league, but he plays with such great tenacity. We've seen undersized guys. Ben Wallace here with this franchise was undersized, but when you play with that kind of heart and that kind of tenacity, and then you add in James Wiseman, a little bit of a project there. They tried some things at the end of the year, but those four with, to make up the front court, to have some depth and to be able to have those four in a rotation, do you like the semblance of that?
There are some positives. There are some things that I'm concerned about. The way the game is being played today, no one's really posting up, so you need big guys that show versatility. They can make perimeter shots, can play in the pick and roll game, can be lob threats. And so I do think that at this point that Bagley and Duran and to a lesser degree Wiseman, they all kind of do the same thing. Isaiah Stewart has shown he can make threes, but is he an everyday starting power forward? I think that you've got four centers, and I'm just not sure how you're going to be able to get minutes for all of them. I would not be surprised, especially with the draft coming and the opportunity to package some things. I think one of those guys will not be here next year.
Is there a leader in the clubhouse in your mind when it comes to this upcoming draft of who the Pistons, who would you like to see them select?
Well, I don't think that there's any way that we can accurately guess, because we're not in the gym with the Pistons brass looking and working out the players. For me, what I look at Cam Whitmore, and I like him. I like the Thompson twins a little bit. But the guy that I think is a really good fit is Taylor Hendricks. And at this point, the mock drafts I've looked at have him getting selected further on down. So if the Pistons could add a piece and move down and get him, I would like that. And the reason is this team needs shooting in a big way. Jaden and Cade and the big guys have not really shown to be pure shooters. They do other things that are phenomenal. At the forward position, Bogdanovich is a knockdown shooter, but he's getting older as well. I would like somebody that can just stand out there and knock down shots and also has stopper capabilities on the defensive end. Multi-positional coverage would be great for this team. Somebody like Taylor Hendricks, I think, can cover a 4. If you switch him onto a 2, he can contain the ball. So that's a guy that I like, but I'm not going to predict that the Pistons will take him, because I think that I'm not in the gym, and Troy Weaver knows a lot better what he's looking for.
Tim, do you hate the term two-way player as much as I do? Because it's basketball. Like, you got to be able to defend. Like, you have to. I can't stand when somebody, he's a two-way player. Like, yeah, of course. You should. I mean, it's 5-on-5, for God's sakes.
Well, I think it's just emphasizing some guys are better at playing both ends of the court. Other guys are just scorers. So I get it. I guess I've never really thought about it that much. I don't have a hatred towards the term, because I think I understand that it's a bit of an exaggeration with most guys.
Yeah, I hear that. It just makes my skin crawl. I'm like, yeah, you better get back on defense and guard somebody. I mean, come on. If not, they're going to torch you. Like, that's what's going to happen.
But a lot don't. So yeah. I hear what you're saying.
That is the truth, isn't it? When we look at free agency, there's a lot of names floating around out there because this team has a lot of cap space, and I haven't, when I look at the list, I don't know if I fall in love with anybody, but there is a guy there who has been here in Jeremy Grant that I feel like that would be kind of a nice reunion now that, maybe Jeremy's role would obviously be drastically different, and he can come into a situation now where he doesn't have to be the primary option, and he knows he's the veteran presence on a very young team that does have a lot of potential.
I can see that. He was a great player here for the Pistons. He was consistent. He was reliable. He was durable. And it's going to be really difficult. I still think that to bring in a finished product player, it does not really help in the long term, because no matter what Jeremy Grant or Kristaps Porzingis or, like Jordan Clarkson or D'Angelo Russell, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that have proven they can score, but this team is probably still 3 years away from contending. And so if you're going to bring somebody in, I'd love to see them be a piece that's not going to be really ready for a couple of years so that everybody can gel at the same time.
Interesting. When you watch the NBA Finals, because you said, not ready for a few more years. When you watch the NBA Finals, are there moments where you look at the matchup between the Heat and the Nuggets and you think to yourself, like, man, we're a long ways off? Or if you're like, hey, you know what? We might be able to dabble. We could be a 30-plus win team.
No, I don't. I don't see it that way. So let me put it this way. Last year, the Pistons won 17 games. So can they double that number? That seems like a lofty goal to me. If they get to 30, that would be a really nice jump. I'd be impressed. I would be hopeful. But still, you're not even sniffing the play-in game at 30 wins. So I like the direction. I like the people that they have. But when you look at the Nuggets and the Heat and the elite teams in the NBA, the Pistons have a lot of growth to do. First of all, I really am anxious to see Cade Cunningham and see where he's at, because not only can you learn basketball by playing, I think there's a lot you can take away by sitting there and watching on a nightly basis, tendencies, the flow of the game, reading things like that. And so I need to see him as a superstar. And then Jaden Ivey as a number 2 guy, and I'm anxious to see who they get in the draft. There's a lot of positives, a lot of things to be hopeful for. But the truth is that they're still going to be a long ways away.
The rehab process, Tim McCormick, can be a grueling one. It can also be very lonely because everybody else is, whether they're traveling for games or it's practice in film and everything else. And sometimes, guys that get injured can get basically get kind of lost in the fray. And James Edwards of The Athletic was reporting, he did a long piece about how active Cade had been throughout the course of the season, just with the team in those film sessions, sitting in on practice, doing his rehab at different times so he could stay, as connected to this team as possible. And when I read that, I felt very positive about the young man that this team drafted.
Oh yeah, I like him a lot, and he's a good leader, and he's not phony. I saw him before every game. We had some really good conversations. And there were some times that I thought he was really grumpy and he's hard to talk to. And I thought, that's real. Why would you be happy? You can't play the game you love. You're frustrated. You're going to be sitting out for months and months. He's a real guy. And I think I'm looking for a word. He's authentic. Like when he felt good, he was really happy and fun to talk to. And when he's grumpy, I get that too. So I'm a big Cade believer.
I sure do hope so, because I read that. I mean, I was hanging on every word. James does that to me with some of his stories, though. I got to remember he's a journalist. And he's writing stories, but I get all caught up in it, Tim. That's what happens. All right, now, as a big man yourself, when you watch Nikola Jokic, what are we seeing here? Because he has been absolutely phenomenal throughout this entire playoffs. The NBA Finals, no different for him. His numbers are through the roof. They can work through him in the high post. They can work through him in the short corner. Every time he touches the ball, it's like magic is happening. And he's not overly flashy. He's not super athletic. He's not going to jump out of the gym and dunk one on somebody's forehead, but he's always going to make the right play. He is the most valuable player in the league, despite what anybody from Philadelphia might say. I mean, this guy is the truth. Does it make you smile as a big man to see a guy out there dominate the game the way that he does?
I'm mesmerized when he plays. I find myself not even watching anybody else on the court. My eyes are fixated on Jokic. His game is so unique. I was looking the other day. I mean, how in the world do you score 30, but you also get yourself 10 or 12 assists? And he's a capable rebounder. I think it's easy to pick on the fact that he's not super quick and he doesn't rebound. I mean, who does every single part of the game well? He's one of my favorite players of all time. I think his game would translate to high success no matter where he played, what era he played in. And I can see him getting better. I also am such a big fan of Jamal Murray, his ability to move without the ball in the way that he and Jokic play. Gordon and Porter complement each other. But really a hidden key to this team is something that should make the Pistons shake their head. Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, guys that were here that I thought were really good players. They're key components on a championship team. And sometimes it's easy to cast guys off too quick. Those are two-way players. I know you hate that, right? But I'm going to bring it back to you. They are really good at both ends of the court. They're good leaders. They don't need the ball to be effective. They just make plays.
Tim McCormick just hit me in the forehead with a shovel. That's what just happened, folks. The Denver Nuggets, they have 6 guys averaging double figures in the playoffs. Jokic's numbers right now, 30 points, 13.3 rebounds, and 9.8 assists per game, almost averaging a triple-double in the playoffs with an opportunity to close things. I mean, it's simply incredible and fascinating. And one thing I really like about Denver and Miami, and I'd be very interested, Tim, if you kind of feel the same way, is that I didn't need to see the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant in the finals. I didn't need to see another year of LeBron or what ESPN was telling me. They had to be the Celtics and Lakers for the 100 millionth time. Like, I like the fact that it's Miami and that they have Jimmy Butler, who just seems like a very old school. I go to work and I'm just here to play basketball and none of this other stuff. And I look at a team like Denver. I see two very well-constructed, really good teams that I feel like in a sport that's gotten very individual in recent years is kind of a couple of throwback squads.
I agree with that. And I had a chance to play for Pat Riley, and I see a lot of the things that he taught me that have filtered down to his players. They're very much no nonsense. And I really am pleased with the fact that you've got two teams that pass the ball. Their scouting report makes sense to me. They've got veterans that are great, but they've also got young players. And I feel bad because I think that Tyler Hero is a player that could have really made a difference in this series. He plays a lot like Jamal Murray. He's high energy, he can come off screen shooting the ball. He can take over games with his scoring. I really hope he plays tonight because he's one of my favorite intriguing players. And I mean, this series is over, but he could be fun to watch.
He is Tim McCormick. You can find him on Twitter at Tim McCormick40. You can find him on Bally Sports Detroit, the NBA vet, the Michigan man himself. Uncle Tim, my friend, thank you so much for your time today, partner. We greatly appreciate you.
Thanks, Anthony. Good talking to you.
Always a pleasure to catch up with Tim, and that was our conversation, obviously, before last night's game took place. And as he said, that was going to be, I had a feeling that last night was going to be it, and indeed, that was it. There would be no more from the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. We'll step aside. On the other side, coming up in hour number 2, we'll get to the Tigers getting their first win in the month of June, snapping that 9-game losing streak last night. Kyle Barlow will join us. The coach will get to more of Nikola Jokic and more of Denver's win in 5 games. Was that a boring series to you? Well, one member of the group chat believes so. So we'll get into all of that and more here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Disturbed, the Take Back Your Life Tour. Labor Day Monday, September 4th at Soaring Eagle. And same show, same night, Stained. Tickets start at $34 and on sale now at the Soaring Eagle box office or etix.com. Party hard, rock harder. It's been a while. Disturbed and Stained. Labor Day Monday, part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bullying, lack of patience, cruelty to animals. Those are not good traits. They also happen to be critical warning signs of violence. June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to know that at-risk people often display warning signs before they resort to gun violence. Search online for 10 critical warning signs of violence and ask your local police department how you can safely make a difference.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTab at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman at gmail.com.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations. I think there's close to 30 across the Huge Radio Network. For the one close to you, go to MrCarWash.com, and there you can join their Unlimited Wash Club. Now, this is a quick and convenient way to keep your car shining all the time. It's everything you love about getting your car washed in a simple, easy-to-use, affordable plan. As an Unlimited Wash Club member, you will enjoy all the benefits of washing as often as you like, no long-term contract, convenient monthly billing, and now you can be rest assured with a contactless visit. So go to MrCarWash.com right now, sign up for their Unlimited Wash Club Pass, and that means you can get your car washed at any Mr. Car Wash location across the Huge Radio Network or anywhere in America. And for the location close to you across the Huge Radio Network, you can also log on to MrCarWash.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, Vietnam.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Welcome back here. Hour number 2 of X's and Bros. Rise and shine, folks, on this Tuesday, the 13th day of June, 2023. So great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Eddie.com to that to find our website. Danny Cahalan is a Dan in the studio on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. And I just saw this this morning. I didn't know that this had happened, which would be overnight because it was pretty late last night. But according to multiple news reports, which I follow the Spectator Index on Twitter. If you don't, I would highly recommend it. Covers all sorts of global news and whatnot. But 9 people were shot in a mass shooting in Denver. And then ABC News, 9 people injured, including 3 critically in a shooting in Denver. The suspect who was also shot was in custody, according to the Denver Police Department. According to that ABC article, there was an altercation that broke out between a whole bunch of people. And, yeah, I'll be very interested to see the developments of this. And I'm already interested in how one media outlet calls it a mass shooting in Denver, and then the other one just says it's just a shooting in Denver. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But sad regardless, because this happened about a mile away from the arena in which the Denver Nuggets were able to host their first ever NBA championship. Robert tweets into the show, enjoyed the Tim McCormick interview segment. Knows his stuff. Well, thank you very much, Rob, listening to us on WTRX. Thank you very much. I love Tim. You might ask yourself, why in the world do I call everybody uncle? Everybody's older than me is basically an uncle. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I view things. So Tim didn't know this, but he became Uncle Tim yesterday. So good for him. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
All right, huge news. We've got ourselves a champion. It's Nikola Jokic, and it is the Denver Nuggets. They've done it in 5 games. They were able to surpass the Miami Heat, hoist the Larry O'Brien. Great to see the Jokic family there. His brothers. One of them's a former U of D Mercy. I guess it's just U of D. What is it now? Is it just University of Detroit? Is it University of Detroit Mercy? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, one of them played hoops there and lifting up Coach Mike Malone, and he loves them. You know, he went to Serbia, and he's been there multiple times. He goes there to spend time with his star players' family. The entire story is just fantastic. Like, where's the camera crew to follow Mike Malone to Serbia to give us more in depth on what was going on there? Just a great team, a great series, and the former 41st overall pick delivers to the franchise that selected him, the franchise that was patient with him. The Tigers get their first win this month, so congratulations to the Detroit Tigers, able to do so with a victory over the Atlanta Braves at home. 6-5 was your final score, and it took 10 innings to get done, but they got it done, and that's what matters the most. So This is very, very good. Torkelson, how about Tork? Sparked a 3-run ninth-inning rally, with a 2-run homer. Hit a game-ending single in the 10th. Really good day for Spencer Torkelson. And for all the folks, like we had that conversation yesterday. That's a really nice game for him to have. Very timely as well. According to medical groups, liability may be, may limit care for top athletes. So a group of prominent medical organizations say that it's growingly concerned about what they consider to be a threat to medical care for top-level athletes, increasing liability risk for doctors as salaries for those athletes rise. So this is pretty interesting. Recent ongoing litigation may have an enormous negative impact on medical care of competitive and elite athletes. The letter comes on the heels of several significant legal cases, including one where former NFL player Chris, I don't know if it's Margos, I've never seen the name, was awarded $43.5 million by a Philadelphia jury after accusing his surgeon and the group that oversaw his rehab of malpractice for their decisions related to a tear in his meniscus. He contended that the court case cost him at least $8.7 million in future NFL earnings, but was awarded 5 times that in damages. I'm interested to see how this affects NIL in collegiate athletes. Who's paying that tab? Speaking of NIL, Jim Harbaugh is spearheading a new NIL effort at the University of Michigan called Empower. Empower is another, if the guy wasn't any more all in on Michigan, I hope Freddie saw that because he's a big Harbaugh hater. So I hope that Freddie saw that his head coach is beginning an NIL program for the students, and this will be pretty interesting to see how this whole thing comes together. But by the way, yesterday I said it was a pec tear for Donovan Edwards. That's not correct. It was his patellar tendon. So that's what he was playing with and with the cast on the thumb that he carried with his offhand. The Jaguars could be playing their football games in Daytona during their upcoming stadium renovations. So as TIAA Bank Field gets renovated to the stadium of the future, maybe they'll play at Daytona. Well, that would be interesting. I saw that Orlando was an option as well. I don't know if Daytona, if that's what I want to do. I really don't. Like, you tell me you can't go to UCF's campus? Can't split time with them? Oh. Patriots have released James Robinson, and that was recent. I mean, Robinson is 24 years old, had agreed to a 2-year deal with a base value of $4 million on March 15th, included no guaranteed money, and was structured in a way that protected the Patriots based on Robinson's injury history towards Achilles in late 2021 while playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nuggets star Nikola Jokic was named the NBA Finals MVP, so congratulations to him. We'll see if Joel Embiid can get the voters to get after that and see if he can win one of those at one point after the Nuggets finish the Heat in 5 games to win their first ever NBA championship. Congratulations to them. What did they say, 47 years that franchise has been around? And I think it's very interesting that there are a lot of, the photo of Nikola Jokic as the chubby teenager, right, circulates around the internet. What doesn't make its rounds around the internet, though, is the fact that Nikola Jokic was also in a photograph with his young brother. They were very, very little, in a Denver Nuggets sweatshirt. What are the odds of that? And then here he is leading the franchise to a championship. Simply incredible. 94-89 was your final score there. Coming up tonight, you'll get game 2 between the Tigers and the Braves. We'll see if the Tigers can string a couple of those together. And, of course, all eyes are going to be on TNT tonight. Will the state of Florida lose not 1 but 2 championships in 24 hours? The Panthers facing elimination travel to Las Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. As I said, 8 o'clock puck drop over on ESPN. All right, we'll step aside when we return. We'll do a little Lions trivia. We'll jump into that Tigers game from last night as well, especially with Spencer Torkelson. That had to be just a massive relief for him. I mean, think about the conversation that we had yesterday morning. You want to talk about timely. Like, at what point are you not what we had hoped you to be? And I know it's one game, but I don't want to take that away from him. The guy did basically everything last night in the clutch moments of the game. Could this be the start of something good for Spencer Torkelson? Could this be that moment that gets him on a heater, that builds his confidence in such a way that he never looks back? We'll jump into that next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at TullymoreGolf.com.
Imagine this. Winning big at Soaring Eagle. Have a blast with Rolling Thunder Camper Giveaway. Saturdays in June. 2 players every hour win $1,500 premium play. On June 24th, the 11 p.m. winner rolls out in a new Coachman Catalina Legacy Edition. It's Rolling Thunder Camper Giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to speak up. In 4 out of 5 school shootings, someone knew about the attacker's intent but didn't report it. If you suspect someone you know may be about to hurt themselves or others, speak up. You can report it safely and anonymously through OK to Say, or contact your local police department and share what you know. Whatever you do, don't keep it to yourself.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
He knows that he can handle and he can hit hard. Like that pitch right there. Back, and gone.
That's it. That is it. I'm looking for that one, and he got it. Yeah, baby.
Spencer Torkelson. What a shot. Left center field, my goodness. And we went into extra innings, and that wasn't going to be all from Spencer Torkelson. He wasn't done just yet. Tied at 5s. Tork back at the plate. Why not?
Oh, there you go. Hey, it's going to be a great post game. Yes, it is. Yeah, baby. Let the dog pile commence. As much as yesterday hurt, they're right back at it today. That's why you show up every day.
Spencer Torkelson with the lights flickering and the powder and the water, and what a scene it was there at Comerica Park, and what a scene there for Spencer Torkelson, who we literally just got done talking about yesterday, where the question was coming in is basically, is he a bust or not? You know, as a consensus 1-1, has he been good enough to date? And when talking to Jason Beck, he said maybe 1,000 at bats. Maybe that's a good number to try to figure out. Tork yesterday, though, 3 for 6, 3 RBI, the home run, only struck out one time, had 1 run scored. Javier Baez moved down in the lineup a little bit. He was 2 for 5 in the ball game, had a run scored, did strike out twice. And did you guys see?
Did you count the strikeouts? Did you do your strikeout count?
13 total.
Guess
for the
what?
Team. What?
13 swinging strikeouts. All swinging.
Swing at it. Now, I hate taking a pitch and going down on strikes looking.
Yeah, but
I hate
you
it.
also
There's
whiffed.
worse.
You also whiffed on 13.
It's not their fault they can't hit the ball. Come on.
I think they had. I'll have to look. In the range of 25 swings and misses, I think Charlie Morton had 17 or 18 by himself.
I mean, there was so much offense in yesterday's game. 15 hits for the Detroit Tigers. They left 14 on base. They were 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Stranded 14. Are you kidding me? You sure about that? 13 strikeouts. 2 for McKinstry, 2 for Carpenter, 2 for Baez, 2 for Maton. And did you see a little bit of the video that surfaced of Javier Baez? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I don't know what he was.
I'll tell you what he was saying.
I know what he said. He
said,
told the fans to shut up.
He said, man, shut the bleep up. GD it.
After he did make an out on that play, but he had not had a good game in the field up to that point. But he luckily got an out prior to saying that to the fans.
Yeah, and look, like he's no one can hear him, right? It's not like he's yelling that into a microphone. He's frustrated. And you would be too if every day you went to work and a bunch of people told you that you sucked every day. The average person who has no job in the public eye will never understand what that is like. When you can get on the internet, you can read all about how much people hate you. You'll never know that. Ever. Like, it bothered you when somebody said something to you in school. Now imagine people saying stuff to you all the time. Nitpicking at every single thing you do that isn't exactly perfect. It is annoying. He just is trying to do his job. He's irritated. He doesn't want to play like this. You think Javier Baez wants to go out there and hit 225 this year? I don't think so. I don't think that's on his list of things to do. You think that Javier Baez would rather hit 285 or 290 with 20 home runs plus? Yeah, I think so. You think Javier Baez wants to play on a team that's lost 9 consecutive games? No. But for the love, man, I get it. I understand. I don't even mind it. In fact, I encourage that kind of behavior. You know, I don't think this is a Tyler Collins moment where he's flipping the bird to the fans. I don't get that same vibe. Now, I don't know Javier Baez. I knew Tyler Collins. There is a drastic difference. When I saw that happen with Mr. Collins, for my extensive time with him in AAA, that is exactly who he was. He was larger than life, Billy Badass, walked around like his stuff didn't stink, like annoying. Just, dude, we're all here together. We're all here together. I will choose to retire. You'll be forced out. That's kind of how, that was my attitude towards Tyler Collins. Like, this ego. And for what, man? For what? You want to hit a ball into Tony Pacos? You want to go get a chili dog? Like, you want to relax? We're all here
Chicken
together.
Paprikash, personally.
We are, yeah, like, that's one of those things where, like, JD Martinez at least just went about his business. I like guys like that. They just went about their business. You got a job to do. We got a job to do. And at the end of the day, you could take a poll of everybody leaving a minor league baseball stadium, and less than 20% will be able to tell you what the final score was and who won the ball game. They like, I don't like it like this, but they like mascots. They like cotton candy. They like hot dogs. They like photo opportunities. Right? That's what they like. That's what they're there for. It's something to do. Then you get your handful of diehards that are there, you know, keeping score at every game. Love those folks. Stop by and see them. You know, when I used to work in minor league baseball, you go see the same people every game. You'll pop in. How are you? Season ticket holders, that kind of stuff. You develop relationships with the folks. But a majority of the people are just there to drink and have a good time. You go out there and do your job. We're going to continue to do ours. Right? We'll treat you with respect. Treat our interns nicely, please. That's all I ask. Nick Castellanos, don't ask me what hat you're wearing. Do I look like an equipment manager? Do you think I can help you with that? Huh? I'm sitting here chewing bubble gum in a dugout with a microphone in my hand. What do you think I know about what pants you're supposed to have on? Come on now. Knock some sense into you. But that's the thing. You just kind of had to snap back. And then they would be like, oh, one of us. Like, yeah, shut up. Sign my check. Go back to
I'd
Erie.
love to see you snap at Javi.
I wouldn't snap at Javi because I get it.
By the way,
Like,
I'm working the Braves.
You're getting Javi on the show?
No, I'm working with the Braves broadcast this series. They're doing the players only. So I'm working with the Braves, and they have Peter Moylan as their analyst. He's Australian.
Crikey!
Well,
is that good?
Javi sounds it sounds like Harvey every time he says it. So now I just think of Harvey Baez every single time because Peter Moylan. I'm like, I look over, I'm like, it's not Harvey. But then I'm like, oh, it's just his accent.
Avi.
It's not me.
Avi. You know, and by the way, shout out to the Yankees play-by-play man as well. I mean, what an absolute gem. Yankees win. Ow! He got hit with a foul ball the other day. Ow. But he still got off, and he rattles his arm, like the passion that's there. There's nothing like good radio. There's nothing like it. It is one of one. One of one. So, good for Javi, good for the Tigers. We're going to step aside. We're going to talk to a good guy on the other side. His name's Kyle Barlow, the coach. He joins us next here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here from my good friends at Bean Garter. They're now a Dorn Mayhew firm. They're based in Troy, where Dorn Mayhew is located on the east side of the state. Bean Garter will stay in their existing location in downtown Grand Rapids, and Josh Garvey has been named the managing shareholder. Josh was appointed by Dorn Mayhew's board of directors, and Josh will lead the West Michigan office in downtown Grand Rapids in its vision, growth, culture, strategy, and client relationships. And Josh is very honored to lead the Grand Rapids office forward as the next managing shareholder. Bean Garter has had the privilege of serving the West Michigan market for nearly 75 years. And Josh's vision is to uphold that commitment and keep their firm focused on creating meaningful impact relationships in their local community. Congratulations to Josh Garvey, as Bean Garter and Dorn Mayhew are now stronger together.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Is this the song that comes on when you step into a world of nonstop action over at the DraftKings Casino? Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots, plus enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 can get a match of their first deposit, score up to $2,000 in their hand in casino bonus funds. All you got to do is sign up, select the offer of your choice, start playing from a full suite of games. Download the DraftKings Casino app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE. Get a match of your first deposit of $5 or more, up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds only at DraftKings Casino, only using the promo code HUGE. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only, one per opted-in customer. Minimum $5 deposit, max match $2,000. Deposit and bonus amount requires 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions do apply. Little Alan Parsons project, little Michael Jordan era Chicago Bulls for our next guest, who's joining us on the Myers Supercenter guest line, the Concordia alum who did his GA years under John Beilein at the University of Michigan and is now patrolling the sidelines at Ohio University for the Bobcats. He's got a big-time tournament win over one seed. His name's Kyle Barlow. The coach, find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Coach Barlow, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, man? I love the Jordan era theme we got going on this morning because, NBA Finals is over. At this point, you always talk about legacies, right, for the best players. And my question is, do you think Jokic thinks in terms of legacies based on his comments last night, or do you think he truly, hey, the job is done, let's go home? We go home now.
We go home now.
Mighty Ducks. Look at Mighty Ducks. Let's go shake their hands.
It is 100%. Let's just, and he did. He went through it. It's funny you bring up the Mighty Ducks, the shake their hands thing, because before he went and celebrated with his team, Nikola Jokic is out there finding every player that played on the Heat, even the guys that were trying to walk off the court, and went to go shake their hands. I mean, the guy is everything that you would want a star athlete to be, with none of the madness, none of the news, entertainment news, like soap opera, Real Housewives nonsense. None of the Ja Morant pistol waving or the Zion Williams can't keep my pants on. None of the KD jumping from team to team or LeBron recruiting free agent stars. Like, he just goes about his business, and I love that about him.
Well, and credit Denver, too. I think Van Gundy said it on the broadcast last night, but, they didn't panic. Denver didn't. They kept that team together. They lost in the bubble. They looked really good. And then Jamal Murray tears his ACL, so they kind of lose a year last year while he's coming back, right, or didn't even play. And it's like they didn't panic. They didn't blow it up. He didn't always look great, Jamal Murray, that is coming back, but it takes a while to come back from an ACL, even after you're medically cleared. And, Jokic was patient. They were patient with Mike Malone, and, it really paid off for him. And as a smaller market team like Detroit, that should give us a little bit of hope, right? Like, it can be done, but you still probably have to have a two-time MVP.
Yeah, I mean, it's you definitely got to be able to find. I mean, the 41st pick, who would have thought? But Giannis being what, 15th? Right. Like, there are guys out there you don't. And they were talking about this on the broadcast. I think the previous game, I think it was in Game 4. They were talking about the anti-tank because Jokic was picked 41st, and Van Gundy's like, yeah, and LeBron James was taken 1, okay, and then Breen and Mark Jackson, ha ha ha, they're laughing. What did you make of that? Do you like the broadcast combo?
I like it a lot. I think Breen and Van Gundy are locks. I think Jackson's good because they have he has that camaraderie with those guys, especially him and Van Gundy will throw jabs at each other, which is funny. But I think Jackson could be a rotating 1-2. I was actually thinking about that last night. We weren't even talking about this off air, but I was actually thinking about that same thing last night. I'm like, yeah, Breen is a lock, Van Gundy's a lock. I like Jackson. I think you could kind of rotate that seat with him too. Yeah, no, it's good though. Like, do you think like what means the most to Nikola Jokic? Would an Olympic gold for his country, would he go crazy, or would he do the same thing? Like, the job is done. Let's go home.
No, I think Olympic. I think it's the international scene is so much different because of the U.S. dominance in everything but soccer, basically in the Olympics, because we have we are the melting pot, man. We have a lot of the best players from all over the place. If Jokic was somehow able to get with Bogdan and Bojan, and they were able to put together a squad, because if you kept, and I say this all the time, if you kept Yugoslavia together, they would be a legitimate contender for Olympic gold. Like, it would be to the point where the USA would have to tighten up their roster and how they're going to go about it. Very much like Redeem Team-esque, if you will, where international basketball, from my perspective, doesn't matter to me one iota. Right? It just doesn't. I don't care if you win the Olympics or the FIBA Basketball World Cup. It all seems kind of knockoff to me because we have the best semblance in the best league in the world with the best players. So that's the hardest trophy to win. But if Jokic could bring home Olympic gold or a FIBA World Basketball Championship and beat the USA, I think that would be, I think you'd see the real side of Jokic, not the guy who's struggling to get the champagne bottle open and is like, what do I do with this? Let me put this back. Where's Jamal at? I'm going to throw him in the pool.
I tend to agree, and I do think you'd see that different side of it. It's just so, I was very surprised how Jokic handled himself after the game. But when I thought about it, it's like, no, I shouldn't have been surprised about that. That's who he is. That's who we've gotten to know. Don't get it twisted. I mean, this guy's an intense competitor, right? I mean, 2-time MVP. He wanted to win that NBA championship, but it was just funny the way he reacted afterwards. And do you think? Well, put it bluntly. Do you think the fix was in last night? I mean, golly, that game was so physical, and it seemed like one team was getting called for fouls and the other wasn't. Do you think the fix was in?
What team do you think was getting called for fouls?
Oh my gosh, Denver. Maybe the team who had their 3 best players with 2 fouls in the
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that we're
maybe that team.
I wanted to make sure we're on the same page because I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on. I got Jokic with 2. I had the 2 almost immediately. Aaron Gordon had 3 early. Jamal Murray had 2. I don't think the fix was in.
The second one was awful.
Oh, and then you had Kyle Lowry acting like he got shot with a punt gun in the floor late in the game as Jokic just bodied him. Like, get out of the way, little man. What are you doing? This is a grown man. You're in the restricted area. This is where the men play. You go flop around somewhere else. I'm glad he just bulldozed over him. And it wasn't even that bad, but he's laying there like, oh, God. Of course, I've never been hit by Nikola Jokic, so I don't really know what that feels like.
No, but meanwhile, Bam just beats the hell out of him up and down the floor.
Just incredible. Just incredible how much contact there is when Jokic has the ball. He's trying to back him down, and they are just banging down there. I'm talking old school 1980s basketball, the way it used to be played, where you just assaulted somebody on every play. Oh, the good old days, right? I mean, they were getting after it down there. But it does make me wonder, you got all these early foul calls on Denver. You got that late review. Officiating crew wasn't great.
Now, okay. I'll zag on that one. Everybody in the world thought that it was an offensive foul. I did not. I get
because you're an offensive guy. That's why you're offending me right now. That's how offensive you are.
Well, I agree. What was Aaron Gordon supposed to do? But that was a natural rotation by Jimmy Butler. I don't think he kicked his leg. I mean, I know his leg kicked the body of Aaron Gordon, but I think that was a natural shot. And Aaron Gordon was in right in his grill. Even if he didn't kick out his leg, I still think Aaron Gordon fouls him. He's going to run right by him. He's going to chip something. You're defenseless at that point. It's like a defenseless receiver when you're 3 feet in the air shooting a jump shot.
You know what's interesting? What if I told you that the Miami Heat would finish the game with more fouls than the Denver Nuggets?
Wow.
Yeah, 21-13.
To the naked eye, we all know that wasn't true. That's not the narrative of the game. Anybody who watched that game would not say that was the narrative, though. Don't you think? I mean,
100%. Because it was early, right? If maybe the fouls happened a little bit later in the game, but the refs were so, I mean, they were just involved early on, and then that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game and allowed everybody else to be like, oh, the refs. And I knew Miami was dead in the water at halftime when they had a 7-point lead, and Denver was 1 for 15 from 3.
Yeah,
that's when you knew they're toast.
Jamal Murray's missing wide open ones. The Pistons, speaking of the Pistons, the Pistons just love giving role players to these championship teams, like KCP. KCP was missing wide open ones in the first half, and then had that little midi going in the second half. But yeah, I think you're right when you look at the flow of the game and how Miami had a slight edge, but Denver was probably still the better team, just missing shots and not getting a good whistle in the first half. I think that the writing was on the wall at that point.
KCP, Bruce Brown, Reggie Jackson, Ish Smith, and he did have a contract. He had a piece of paper, DeAndre Jordan. That's 5 guys, 5 former Pistons that were on the championship-winning roster. Stan Van Gundy knew the whole time, didn't he?
Yeah, he can draft really good role players, huh? You need a top. I think even Stan Van Gundy said this when they traded for Blake Griffin. He's like, you need a top 20 talent in this league to win the NBA Finals, and we don't have that. So we had to take a chance and get Blake Griffin when he was available. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if even the Heat, like, are Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo top 25 talents in the league? I mean, it's close, right? Probably. You probably give them that because they win so much.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about. Jimmy Butler now. 0-2 in the NBA. Yeah, 0-2 in the NBA Finals. What does that do to the whole Himmy Butler? Because he was terrible last night, and I tweeted. Then all of a sudden, he read my tweet, I guess, in a timeout, and he came out like guns blazing. And it's like, well, there you are. Like, that doesn't make up for the other 40 minutes you didn't do anything out there the whole game. Goodness gracious, guy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But the finals, like that hurts. That's a legacy game.
Yeah, but I agree. Where's that 50 burger that we were promised by everybody from him? You know what I mean? Like, he single-handedly had 3 50-point games in the one series. I forget it wasn't the Lakers. It was one before that. But he had 3 50-point games. Like, single-handedly brought them to 1 to 2 victories by himself. And it's like, you're playing against a drop coverage with Nikola Jokic, meaning you can have a mid-range whenever you want in a ball screen if you're Jimmy Butler. And that's his game. His game is mid-range and get to the free throw line. And even I think Van Gundy said on the broadcast, he's like, Jimmy Butler, like, if you're passing up a mid-range shot on a drop coverage, like, that might be the best shot you're going to get in the possession. And then immediately someone threw up a terrible shot because the shot clock was running down. And he's like, see? I'm like, oh, yeah. Nailed it there, JVG. But, like, where he had to have been hurt, right? Like, where was that 50 ball? They were letting him have the middies.
I don't know, man. I really don't know what. I like Jimmy Butler a lot. I'm a big fan of him. Like, it was sad. It kind of hurt to watch that last night because I was expecting him to at some point take over and be that guy, and he just wasn't.
Did
man.
they play him too many minutes? That would be something that would be fun to look up because, I mean, even against the Lakers, he was playing 44 minutes, I think, 43, 45 minutes a game. Like, did he just run down? Was it that simple? By the NBA Finals, he didn't have a 50 ball left.
Here's what he had in the finals, starting at Game 5. 41, 45, 40, 40, 38 against the Celtics, 43, 47, 34, 39, 31, 41, 43. Yeah,
that's a lot, man. I mean,
4 out of the 5 games against the Knicks were in the 40s.
Yeah, that's a lot of minutes, man. That's a lot of minutes. So maybe he ran out. I think in order for Miami to push that series, he would have had to have one of those nights where it's like, golly, Nikola Jokic is the best player on the planet, but Jimmy Butler's the best player on the floor tonight, and he's about to get 50. Like, it's got to be one of those nights, those type of efforts, and we never really got that.
No, we didn't. It felt like we were like missing something there. Like that's what was missing. Now, when we get to the actual series itself, Denver and Miami, as far as like an entire team construct, I was happy with the matchup because these are great teams. They move the ball, they move without it. Guys work hard. There's no off-season drama. There's no drama during the season. As I mentioned earlier, it's not a Zion Williamson who can't keep his pants on or John Morant who can't keep guns out of the camera. It's not LeBron James recruiting everybody and their mother to come play with them and firing a coach and trying to play GM. There's not Kevin Durant hopping from team to team that gives them the best chance to win. Like, there's none of that. They're just really well-constructed teams, and that's why I enjoyed this series, even though I did read on Twitter some people thought it was a sleeper.
I think you enjoyed it, but I think the ratings will back up that a lot of people enjoyed it, right? I think even you tweeted about the ratings being so good. And it's like, I think a lot of people like that, where, you know, the NBA for so long has been sold on star power, right? And we need our stars to be, you know, in the finals because that's what people want to watch. Like, people aren't fans of teams anymore. People are fans of stars. And I think guys like us, who love the game of basketball and watch it a lot, I think we like that. And one, it's something different. Like, it's not fun when it's the Cleveland versus Golden State for 5 years straight, right? Like, it's two different teams. And like you said, there's no drama. It's like there's no guys just hop in to make super teams because they want to win more rings so that at the end of their career they can say they won 5 instead of 4, right? You just had teams who were hungry, first-time champions, a lot of them, or would-be first-time champions, and hungry and wanted to get it done.
Yeah,
let's go home. Let's go shake their hands. By the way, the squirt gun, Ja.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. You know, it's that's what Winston in the back, he loves it too. Like, he's like, yeah, I want team basketball, Dad. Like, we gotta move the rock, and we gotta move without it. Your biggest takeaway from this series, because as much as there is no drama, the Rocky Mountain Round Ball is, you know, it's often forgotten between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. Now the Nuggets come in as the defending champions for 23-24. Do you think that this team is sustainable? It feels like it is. It doesn't feel like you're going to get a whole bunch of people that are going to go rogue on pay me my money. It feels like this group will kind of want to stay together.
No, it kind of, man, it's not an exact parallel, but I think it's a lot closer to when the Pistons won their first one. And it was like, this team is built to sustain, and they really were. You know, I think the whole Larry Brown fiasco kind of hurt them, and they didn't have a true superstar like Jokic. But that team was built to sustain. I think the same thing about Denver. Like, this team has a young core, a really, like, you know, Jokic and Murray are not going anywhere in terms of their talent and their production compared to the rest of the league. And I think you're in a market that really loves that team, that they're going to pack it every night. It's not Miami where we're going to be on the beach from January to March and wake me up in the playoffs when they come. Like, those are good fans. And Denver's a really good city. Have you ever been to Denver?
No, I haven't.
Super underrated, man. Super underrated. Really nice.
I thought they all just smoked pot and snowboarded.
Yeah, no, that's the conception. But if you land in Denver Airport, you land in the plains. You're not even in the mountains. You have to drive into the mountains to get.
Don't they have that devil horse out front? Some kind of crazy statue?
Yeah, I forget about that, but yeah, I just remember I'm looking around and thinking that John Denver's full of bleep. You know, like I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier. But yeah, no, it's a really good city. So I think the Stars, like those guys, and will want to stay. And if you think about it, like Jokic ain't the guy who's like, I need to be in New York City, Miami, or L.A. Like, he came from Serbia. Like, you know, I don't think he cares. And Jamal Murray came from the great country up north. Like, I don't think he cares either. He's down in the southern hemisphere now, right? So I think that team's built to sustain. And, you know, in the NBA, you see so much now where it's like you have to draft well. You have to get that superstar in the draft if you're a mid-level team, because guys are going to bolt on you in free agency if you're, you know, Detroit, Cleveland. You know, Milwaukee kept their star, but, you know, if you're one of these lower market, you know, Northern Hemisphere Rust Belt teams.
He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Coach Barlow, as always, my friend. Appreciate the time, partner. Great conversation as always. Have a great Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Hour 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the den. Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
The Tigers are in the midst of their toughest stretch. Swept by the defending National League champion Phillies, then broomed by the NL Western Division leading Diamondbacks, and now battling the leaders of the NL East, the Atlanta Braves. Each are really good in different ways, but the Braves are the gold standard of baseball. They have their stars locked up for years. Ronald Acuna is on board for 3 more seasons. Ozzie Albies is a Brave through 2027. Sean Murphy and Spencer Strider until 2028. Matt Olson through 2029, and Austin Riley and Michael Harris through 2032. That's 7 core players inked to long-term contracts, all of them highly productive and the envy of all, just like the Braves.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis,
Hey,
Missouri.
this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon Ross St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's
Out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Galen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio. Send that to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Wrong, but nice try. I'm a most fan hater. Harbaugh and San Francisco were some of my favorite teams. Most Michigan fans think the clock ran out in the TCU game. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that. How is that record in the playoffs and the bowl games? I'll wait till the clock runs out. Playoffs were 0-2. 0-2. Back-to-back seasons. Both losses. There you go. There's your answer. Never heard a non-hater talk about that, though, before. But no, clock didn't run out. I don't know where that comes from. Like, the game's only so many minutes. You're like, oh, if we had more time. Well, yeah, if we had more time. If you would have made more plays. If you would have tried all that.
I've heard from, and granted, it's special types of fans of every fan base that are like this. I remember there's one year, it was one of the Denard Robinson games versus Michigan State where he threw 5 interceptions and literally had one fan go, well, if he didn't throw those interceptions, we would have won. It's like, if he didn't throw the 5 of them.
Like, what, when that, did that person say that to you in person?
Yes.
Did you look at that person and ask them to repeat what they just said?
Yeah, I go.
And then to think about it?
I go, it's okay if you look back, you go, man, if that one turnover didn't happen, I think that game would have gone different. You go, yeah, if we didn't have those 5 turnovers, oh.
That is just the most preposterous thing.
But there are people out there that are like that.
There are. Unfortunately.
So, and there are people out there, well, you know, if we just had more time, it's like, well, it's a timed game.
Yeah, if we just had more time. Everybody on their deathbed probably thinks the same thing. If I just had more time. And the reality of the situation is you don't. I love Michigan. I do. I love the winged helmet. I love the color scheme. I love everything about it. Love the university. The nightlife's okay. I never had a bad time in East Lansing when I would go to visit. I always had great times. Great party school. Kind of in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, it's like, all right. You know, Ann Arbor's okay. Ann Arbor's a little, what's the right way to put this without getting fired? Where's New York Scott at career limiting moves? Ann Arbor's a little loose for me from a city state, but there's nice bars and restaurants and stuff like that. It's just different. This has a very academic feel to it. As much as I am a scholar and a gentleman and a scholar, and there's not too many of us left. Yes, I'm not always into the academic stuff. Let's put the books down for 15 minutes. Have a good time. It's okay. I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't. Yeah, it sounds like a Harbaugh hater. Is what it sounds like. It sounds like a Michigan hater. I get it. I understand. I think maybe, it's coming from Rudy. When Rudy texts into the show, all the special treatment that Rudy gets there in South Bend. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? Let's try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. Final in 10 innings. Spencer Torkelson is the hero. Detroit Tigers with their first win of the month, 6-5 over the Atlanta Braves. It was Tork sparking the 3-run ninth inning rally against the Braves as he hit a 2-run shot and then hit the game-ending single in the 10th. Oh, stop the 9-game slide. Here we go. We like that. Game 2 of this series is tonight. Another 6:40 first pitch. We love the early start time, so thank you very much for that. Also taking place tonight, you will get game number 5, a potential closeout game in which the state of Florida could not lose 1 but 2 championships in 24 hours. The Florida Panthers are down 3-1 to the Vegas Golden Knights. 8 o'clock puck drop over on TNT. Speaking of the NBA Finals, it was the Denver Nuggets hoisting their first ever Larry O'Brien Trophy as the champions of the 2022-2023 NBA season. Congratulations to them. I'm not going to get into the dynasty chatter or anything crazy like that. They have a very nice semblance of a very good roster and a very team-oriented squad that I very much appreciate, and I hope that they're able to keep that group together and maybe even add to it so that therefore they can kind of continue on this path that we're tracking. Hey, yesterday I misspoke. I said the wrong injury for Donovan Edwards. It was not a pec. It was a patellar tendon. And that's where he injured that in the second game of the season against Hawaii in a 56-10 win on September 10th. Late night, too. It was at 8 o'clock kickoff on BTN. Oh, my goodness. The Jaguars could actually play in Daytona during their stadium renovation. So they're going to build this stadium of the future at TIAA Bank Field. One option for them to play could be Daytona International Speedway. A statement to the Daytona Beach News Journal over the weekend, he and the Frank Kellerer, the president of Daytona, said that he and team representatives will meet soon to discuss potentially playing at their 101,500-seat facility, 92 miles south of the Jags' current stadium. It's pretty interesting. Maybe they'll do that. The team has already had.
Haven't our billionaire owners been telling us that you can't put a new dome on an old stadium?
Who?
The Tigers.
Would you put a dome over Comerica Park?
No. My idea was to
retractable.
No, it would be to you can slide it on and off, and it just it hangs over 75 when you're not using it.
Yeah, just build a big track that goes over 375.
Yeah, it just goes all the way.
It could help the flooding because the rain
goes over Ford Field, has to travel over Ford Field.
If you would have said just construct a pole barn around Comerica Park.
Okay, but for real, they need to put pedestrian bridges over the road, over the freeway downtown.
They need to get it to stop flooding.
Yeah, that too.
That's what they need to do. They need to figure out how to get it to stop flooding first, infrastructure-wise. Maybe get the weeds that are growing out of the concrete. Maybe get that done too. The Jags have also been looking at the University of Florida. I would assume Central Florida would be at Camping World Stadium might be a nice option for them.
I can't wait for the crossover event where they hold a NASCAR race during an NFL game.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine the amount of Busch Light drink there? Jeez Louise. All right, we'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, Meyer.
Take me out to the
Ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Let's root for the home team. This week, shop Meijer for 30% off Tigers apparel. Exclusions apply. Meijer, your proud hometown partner of the Detroit Tigers. Now that's a winning team.
For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at TullymoreGolf.com. Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan. For the one close to you, and to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Got a great text here that I'm going to read in just a moment after I tell you about stepping into a world of nonstop action. In DraftKings Casino, play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots, plus enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 can get a match on their first deposit and score up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. All you have to do is sign up, select the offer of your choice, start playing from a full suite of games. Download the DraftKings Casino app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE and get a match of your first deposit of $5 or more, up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Only at DraftKings Casino, only using the promo code HUGE. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. One per opted-in customer. Minimum $5 deposit. Max match $2,000. Deposit and bonus. Amount required 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions do apply. Got a text here. Came in and says, recommended class at U of M. How are we better than everyone else? 101. Oh, look at the record book, and there you go. You can find exactly how better you are than everybody else. Oh, how about that, Rudy? How you feel about that? Huh? Pal?
Yeah, just play Detroit Athletic Club.
Play Little Sisters of the Poor. Play Bowling Green. Play Hawaii. Stack them up. Stack them up every season. Do it every year. There's no real reason to schedule difficult. Don't give the fans what they want to see. Why would you schedule Alabama week 1 on a neutral site in Dallas? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. All it can do is hurt you. Instead, you schedule a powder puffs at the beginning of the year like East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. You play your conference schedule. You pray you get to the end of the year at 11-0 for the head-to-head matchup against the Buckeyes. You win, and you're in. And that's that. Why would any of these teams schedule that way? Until it's rewarded, which it's not, then maybe you'd think about doing something differently. But until then, no. Nah, come on. Go 13-1. That's about all you can do. About all you can do. So, I don't, look, there's a lot of lean years there, folks. A lot of lean years. I lived through a lot of them. There's some good times. There were some bad times. I would say that 07 Rose Bowl was probably the beginning of the end. When USC just marched up and down the field, that band playing the entire time, the stupid song that they play every time they get the ball. Like, dude, you guys know anything else? They just killed us. It is what it is. And I know that, there is a stigma that surrounds Michigan fans, and there's a lot of haters out there. A lot of folks that don't like you. That's fine. What are you going to do? Not going to change their mind. Not going to change their mind because your favorite team won't join a conference because they're scared. They want to dabble one foot into the ACC and one foot out. Fraudulent conference. It's been carried by Clemson all these years. Okay, all right, I get it. I understand. Where your brand power, your brand power is better than your football team. Okay. I've been there. Trust me. I've seen it. I've seen it happen with my team. I've seen where the brand is stronger than the actual product on the field. There are some times where I don't even know if last year actually happened. And the year before, too. It almost feels unbelievable. After all the letdown, all the chatter, right? All the talk about, your coach is exploring. He wants to go back to the NFL. He's going back to the NFL. All that talk. Man, it gets old. And it's nice to be on top. It's nice to be back-to-back Big Ten champions. And, when your school wins something like that, come talk to me, Rudy. Until then, you just have to sit there and watch. the leaders and the best. Is, I guess, just go pound sand. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it kind of is what it is. This is not an anti-Michigan State conversation at all. This is me going head to head with a Notre Dame fan who's apparently a big fan of Lou Holtz. I don't know. Everybody's, the last time you won a championship, give me all that. Well, I mean, got a natty in both of the major sports in the last 30 years. That's kind of an accomplishment, wouldn't you say? A national title in each. I don't know how many schools have that in the last 30 years. But it might be worth talking about. Maybe. I mean, they had a national championship in each sport within the same decade. It's a pretty wild accomplishment. Considering, when's the last time Notre Dame won a championship? I know it was different back then. I know, because everyone wants to talk about the split championships, right?
I believe they just won lacrosse. So
No, in football. Come on. Real sports.
Also, you might want to check that 30 years math on the basketball championship.
1989. Oh, 34 years. Wow. I swear to God, 2010 was like 4 years ago.
I know where you're coming from. This is me not poking the bear. It's you're just getting older. So 30 years ago is not what you think 30 years ago was.
It had to be 30 years ago. Time's just moving so fast. I can't get a grip on it. I can't. I mean, it's already mid-June. I'm bound to do this once a month where I have this point of realization to where I was listening to this guy and he was getting frustrated. He's got 3 kids and he was really frustrated. And he said, the best piece of advice I got with my children, and something I pass along to everybody, whether you have kids or not, is imagine that moment where you just want to strangle these hellions, right? But then imagine that you're 85 or 90 years old and this is like your last opportunity is to go back in time to this very moment right here. He's like, it'll change your perspective on some things. I said, wow, man, that's some powerful stuff. Who do we got over there on the phone line, Dan?
Freddie.
Who? Freddie? My man Freddie. Freddie, what's up?
Nope, it's Rudy.
Rudy.
Now, I want to. You triggered me to call. You said something that you made fun of. You made fun of people saying Harbaugh was exploring this. Harbaugh was exploring this. Harbaugh was exploring.
He was.
Did he not interview with the Minnesota Vikings last year?
Yes.
On signing day.
Yes.
If he was offered the job, would he have taken the job?
I don't know. Probably.
You don't know that.
Maybe.
You don't know. You don't know.
But
that.
we don't know for certain.
Then why did he go interview?
I mean, why did I go interview down in Miami? Why wouldn't you go interview? What do you mean? Why would he go interview?
This isn't about you.
No, it's about the human element that you're missing here, Freddie. You should always take an interview. Always.
Okay. So he took the interview.
Uh-huh.
You're telling me that if he was offered the job, which, by the way, if he was offered the job and he went to interview, he's totally in the right to do that. There's no issues about that. But you can't sit here and tell me you don't know if he was going to take it. I mean, give me a break. I mean, come on now. Either.
Sorry, I just want to make sure you could hear your theme music. It's playing in the background.
And so to people like you to say, well, you don't know, then the reason he took the interview was
to leverage
get more money out of Michigan, more leverage out of Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah.
Did it work?
If he was offered the job, Anthony, he was taking the job in Minnesota.
Touchdown, Wolverines!
and he has every right. Well, yeah. I mean, when you play Hawaii, of course you're going to touchdown. What happened?
Yeah. Well, did you forget that Ohio State game too? Huh? You forget that?
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you this about the Ohio State wins. They were 2 impressive wins. There's no doubt about it. On the field, they were 2 impressive wins. But you take away 2 wins out of the last 2 years. What has Michigan really done?
Oh, shoot. Hey, give him 0-12 every season. What have they really done? We'll be back after this. Now I'm triggered. You better not go anywhere. You stay right there, Freddie. I'm coming back after you. I'm coming back after the break.
Dad, the big guy, Pops, whatever you call him, find everything for him this Father's Day at Meijer. Shop $9.99 Falls Creek men's polos and get Dad and everyone else new shoes with buy one, get one for $1 shoes for the family. Find the perfect card and the perfect gift because no matter what he's into, you can find it all in one stop. Plus, get the same low prices online and in-store for easy home delivery and pickup. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Roll on Fridays to win a share of over $8,000 in premium play. Each week in June from 7 to 11 p.m., 3 lucky players every hour roll the dice for prizes. The rolling champion each night wins $1,000 premium play. Roll on Fridays, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Bill Simonson here from my good friends at Bean Garter. They're now a Dorn Mayhew firm. They're based in Troy, where Dorn Mayhew is located on the east side of the state. Bean Garter will stay in their existing location in downtown Grand Rapids, and Josh Garvey has been named the managing shareholder. Josh was appointed by Dorn Mayhew's board of directors, and Josh will lead the West Michigan office in downtown Grand Rapids in its vision, growth, culture, strategy, and client relationships. And Josh is very honored to lead the Grand Rapids office forward as the next managing shareholder. Bean Garter has had the privilege of serving the West Michigan market for nearly 75 years. And Josh's vision is to uphold that commitment and keep their firm focused on creating meaningful impact relationships in their local community. Congratulations to Josh Garvey, as Bean Garter and Dorn Mayhew are now stronger together.
Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
This is exactly what came on that par 5. It's Saturday. This is the song that came on, the speaker. They were looking at me. I was looking at my bag. I got a Rocky the Rocket head cover. Pulled that off the big stick. Just nuked one. I had driver off the deck twice so far this year. We had another par 5. My one buddy Thomas, he was the 2006 Huron League Baseball Player of the Year. Went to a scholarship to SIU to go play baseball there. Absolute, just a unit, an absolute unit. This guy in the 05 state championship game in football, his first 2 touches went for touchdowns. A kickoff return and his first run from scrimmage. Not going to say what happened the rest of the game, but a guy was absolute unit. So he flies one, just airmails it straight up in the air. So I get out the big stick and I rip it. I end up going to a fairway bunker. It's probably 30 yards in front of his drive, right? So we back it up. We got about 280 in. You know, we got a ball in play that's across this creek. We're trying to hit the green in 2. We got a ball in play. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to drive her off the deck. What's the difference? Whoop! Right over the back corner of the green. Chip up. Easy putt for birdie there. Golf season's here. Matt Golden and his team, they're ready for you to hit driver off the deck at Canadian Lakes. Just do it. Just try it. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? You lose a ball? Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes offers not 1 but 2 championship courses. Tullymore and St. Ives. It's located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, smack dab in the middle of the state. You're going to love it. I love it there. You're going to love it there. I'm telling you. Tullymore not only features top-of-the-line golf, but also top-of-the-line accommodations, a top-of-the-line clubhouse, and a top-of-the-line halfway house, top-of-the-line carts. Everything's top-of-the-line there. It's first class at Tullymore. Call Matt right now. Here's a cell phone number, 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Call Matt. Book your stay and play at Tullymore Golf today. Find out more at tullymoregolf.com. I found it very interesting that Freddie said something that I want to get back to. It was welcome him back. Welcome back, Freddie.
Hang on. Would you like to read the text we just got from our boy Will so that Freddie can respond?
No, I don't. I'm not going to read that. Freddie came out. No offense, Will, but let's not slander each other out here. Let's keep it friendly. Ryan said something very interesting in the last segment that Freddie, you took all your chips and you doubled down on. Right? It was, what was the game? Denard threw 5 picks, you said, Ryan? Was that the game?
Threw 5 picks, and then the next week I was talking to someone. I was like, well, if Denard didn't throw those 5 interceptions, we would have won the game. I'm like,
is that not ridiculous, Freddie?
I love Denard Robinson. I'm shoelaces. He was my guy. He could throw 10 innings. I didn't care enough.
He probably did.
We love Denard. I love Denard too. Great guy. Played in Jacksonville when I was working there. Great dude. Love him. Probably was misused the entire time at Michigan. That's neither here nor there. But does that
was?
Does that comment make any sense, Freddie? If he didn't throw 5 picks, they would have won the game. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard?
Well, that's a typical Michigan fan. I mean,
but you just said if Michigan wouldn't have beat Ohio State, then what would they have done? But they did. That's the facts, Freddie. That's the facts.
Wait, no. Let's go back. Okay. First of all, Will's a typical Michigan fan. He's got no opinion. All he does is tap. He has no opinion. That's a typical Michigan fan. I gave credit to them beating Ohio State. Those were 2 incredible, impressive wins. What I'm saying to you is as a Michigan fan, that's all you want is to beat Ohio State? Because what else? Because if that's all you want, that you beat Ohio State, what else have you done? You beat Hawaii. You beat Indiana. I mean,
we just won back-to-back Big Ten championships. We just made the college football playoff 2 years in a row.
And you got there, and I just told my boy Laporta, I said, how'd you let Michigan beat you guys? I said, how did you guys let that happen? I mean, who they played? Nevada, and they played Iowa? I mean, seriously? And then they got their doors blown off in bowl games and in the playoffs versus Georgia and TCU. It says, so what is it for a Michigan fan? Just beat Ohio State and you're happy? That was my point.
Freddie, when you start a business, you're a businessman, right?
Don't talk about me. This isn't about me.
I'm not. I'm trying to level it for our listeners, Freddie. I'm trying to level it because there's steps to this.
You can't level much for Will.
There's steps to all things in life. You're not going to. Okay, I'll take it to me. I'm not going to grab my golf clubs and walk out there and be a scratch golfer. It's never going to happen. When you're getting into the game of golf, the first thing you want to do is try to break 100, right? You break 100, that's a milestone for your golf career. And then when you break 100, you go to bogey golf. Can I shoot 90? And when you can finally become a bogey golfer, then you take the next step, right? And that's breaking 90. Everything in golf is about a threshold. 100, 90, 85, 80. There are steps to all of this. If you were going to begin a construction business, right? You wouldn't just walk out there and start building houses. No, you got to buy equipment first. You got to establish your LLC. You got to hire people, right? You got to put out bids. There's steps to all of these processes. They took the first step by being able to beat Ohio State. Step number 1, because it was looking grim there for a while. Step number 2, win the Big Ten championship. Great. Step number 3, make it to the college football playoff. They've proven they can do that. They had to not only prove that to their fan base, but they had to prove that to themselves, that they can do that. Now the final step is going to win a national championship. That's the next thing. They've broken 80. They got to shoot even par.
Okay. So
that was pretty good.
So just beating Ohio State's not enough for you.
Not anymore. That was one step. That was breaking 80.
Okay, that was just my point. So then you're not the typical Michigan fan. Just beat Ohio State and then you're happy, because I really feel that's what it's all about. Just beating Ohio State. That's what it's all about. I'll be honest with you. I think I really believe the Penn State win with Eric All.
Change the dynamic of the franchise of the program forever.
I think that was more of an impressive win than both the Ohio State wins, because they really did change the direction for you guys. That and ironically, Cade McNamara and Eric All, both guys gone to Iowa. And I did ask a reporter that question. I did say, how'd you guys let Michigan beat you? I said, oh, I'm so mad at you. And he laughed. So I won't tell you the rest. But anyways, I've taken up enough time. Maybe Will call you and actually have an opinion. That would be nice. And
are you at work already?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right.
Yeah.
We're happy to be there with you.
And thanks for asking me to go golf once again. Okay, I appreciate it. So have a wonderful day.
Hey, Freddie, it's a Friday, so I know that's probably not going to work out very well. It's a Friday. I was going to invite you to join my scrambles team for St. Mary Catholic Central. July 28th.
Fridays, I'll be giving up a lot of money if
I know. What about a Saturday?
That would be even worse. Have a good day.
All right, Freddie. We'll see you, partner. Yeah, I'm a rational human being, folks. For 99% of the time, I'm pretty rational. And for a majority of the time, I'll call it like I see it. Unless it's on the internet, because then it's just like, some things that, I just don't agree with. That I'm never going to agree with. It's the way that I am. It is what it is. Danny and Brighton's on hold. Good morning, Daniel Sutton. How are you?
Anthony, good morning. I loved how Freddie threw you a little passive-aggressive shade at the end about the whole golf thing. But just say, when are you going to invite me to golf? Kind of like I'm about to say, hey, dude, when are you going to invite me to go golfing?
I have the perfect event for you, Danny. July 28th. It's a Friday. Sandy Creek is the course. It's a Friday, but we're teeing off at 8 a.m. It's going to be electric. You come on out. You donate to a good cause. Write everything off to the write-off people. We love donations. And if you can't join us then for the SFCC booster outing, then you can join us for the 5th annual 2-man 2-club scramble at Putin Bay on the 29th.
Dude, shoot me a DM, and I can see possibly one of those puppies happening.
I'm telling you, both events will be great. The 2-man 2-club, I'm trying to explain that to my group that I were playing with last week in the scrambles. They said, well, so what clubs? I said, we bring the clubs. They said, what? I said, we bring the clubs. They're like, who's we? I said, me and Joe. We bring the clubs. And they're like, really? I said, yeah. We dump them on the ground. You get to choose one wood and one iron. And like, what do you putt with? I was like, either your wood or your iron. They couldn't fathom the idea. I said, this is a true test of golf and endurance and your liver. It's a true test of all of it.
Well, goes without saying. So I had to call when I heard the true Michigan fan thing, and So I would like to consider myself a true Michigan fan. And
Oh, you are.
Appreciate that. This is how I kind of look at the progression. Michigan can't do anything unless they beat Ohio State. You have to beat them, because if you don't beat them, we're not winning the Big Ten. If you don't win the Big Ten, you cannot go and throw up all over yourselves against TCU. But you have to beat Ohio State. And while
that's how it was for any Big Ten team for the last 20 years.
That Ohio State, as painful as this is, and I might clip this and send it to Tyvis Powell so he knows that I'm not a psychopath and that I'm a Looney Tune. Ohio State is the gold standard and has been the gold standard of the Big Ten Conference for 2 decades. If you can't beat them, like you just said, Danny, you can't accomplish anything. They are the pinnacle. That's why Notre Dame doesn't play them, because they would get rocked by Ohio State. That is good for the overall health and well-being of the conference if the rest of us collectively, the other 13 plus the 2 that are coming in from the West Coast, if we can finally get our act together and put a competitive enough product out there on the field that elevates the status of the conference as a whole. That is necessary, right? You have to have LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn can dabble. Like they have more good quality teams. The top portion of the SEC is better than the top portion of the Big Ten. It can't be a 1-horse or 2-horse or even a 3-horse race. Like other teams have to elevate their standards.
Correct. But you saw last year that the tide is starting to turn, because for the first time in the college football playoff era, there were 2 Big Ten teams. And, let's face it, rightfully so. And as a Michigan fan, I'm going to say the most impressive win I have seen was the first Michigan win against Ohio State, because that really did kind of come out of nowhere. But I really think, in a weird way, the galvanizing moment for that team was after they lost to Michigan State, because that brought them all together and just gave them a result. We're not freaking losing anymore. We are just not. We're just not. And that has carried over even to current day, where I believe the culture of the Michigan football team is now, we want to be that gold standard for the Big Ten. You have to beat us to get anywhere, and we're not letting you beat us. And you see that in not only with the type of recruits that they're drawing, but also the type of transfers that they're getting. And they're kind of getting, I want this guy, where they're going to come. It's a big difference between the football and the basketball program in terms of where they're at in a level of competitiveness and who they will attract and what they can get. And as a Michigan football fan getting ready for the 23 season, I know, okay, yes. Is our non-conference schedule light? It is. I don't care. I want to win. As long as we win the games, it doesn't matter, because you have Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State that you have to beat. Beat them. And everything will be roses or whatever color bowl we're going to go and visit in January.
Amen to that, Danny and Brighton, man. Appreciate the phone call this morning, partner.
Anthony, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. You and the radio and traffic, it's how I start my morning.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be a part of the radio, and I'm very unhappy that you're stuck in traffic. But at least you get to hang out with us while you're waiting around.
It's a mixed blessing. Boys, peace out.
Adios. There he goes. Danny and Brighton. Yeah, it's
Pizza at Freddy's on Thursday. Just saying. Potentially.
Oh, well, let me guess. Like noon? Right in the middle of the day?
That's lunchtime, so right around there.
Who gets
a
lunch? We got people that work 6 hours. Like, do I get a lunch? No. You're here for 6 hours. You know what you can do? Clean something. That's what you can do. Walking around snacking on everything anyways. Unbelievable. Lunchtime. Humbug. And you ain't lunch. Lunch is for cowards. No, I'm teasing. Maybe you could bring me a pizza. It's kind of a drive, though. I don't want to screw up your whole Thursday if you guys.
That's 2 hours out of my way.
2 hours, dude. He's in Dearborn. It's exit Anthony, what 41.
I'm not in Dearborn.
You're in Grosse Pointe.
Your store is 53 minutes from my house.
So how did we get from 2? Well, how did we get from 2
and
hours?
45 minutes.
Round trip. All right, fair. That's fair.
Math is not your friend today, Anthony.
I don't give a damn about no math. I'm not here to play math. All I did was talk about delivering. I didn't say anything about returning. You don't have to go back. You can deliver the pizza, throw on an apron, and make it worth your while.
Just keep going.
Stick around, Dan. Throw on an apron. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, do 25 years. You're fine.
Yeah.
6 hours a day?
6 hours a day. Eat a piece of cake.
As long as I get a lunch.
You people and your lunches. And look,
Best meal of the day.
If you listen to this show and you know that I love Michigan, I'm usually not too irrational, right? It doesn't matter if I had one really bad Michigan take about Juwan Howard walking into a living room with a bunch of other coaches and players gravitating more towards him than they would these other coaches. That has proven to be a horrific take. That program is currently they need some help. I'm not going to say they're on life support, but they're definitely the life alert button has been placed around the neck. You know what I mean? They need to make some progress or they're going to find themselves in some trouble. Outside of that, I'm normally pretty rational about the team. I'm not going to come at you with any crazy takes. I don't even believe what I saw. The Illinois game feels like all I can remember from that game. It almost felt like I blacked out during the Illinois game. I'm not going to lie. That might sound weird. Part of it was because it was really cold and I had my hand warmers in my cart mittens, right? I had my cart mittens out there because I was so cold. I had my hand warmers in there. And I noticed that somebody down on the sideline with me did not have any hand warmers. So I gave that person one of my hand warmers for their hands. That was a terrible choice, but I did that as a sacrifice because I knew how cold I was. That person had to be freezing as well. And that's all I remember. So, we win 1917. That's it. Decent movie, by the way, if you wanted to watch it, 1917. Not as good as All Quiet on the Western Front. A little bit of misleading there with the trailers and whatnot, but neither here nor there. Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn. We talked ad nauseum last year about how that was the bottom 10 teams in college football. I'm going to be rational. I might get a little funny during Michigan State week because Ryan's over there and it's get to have a little fun, and might call Tyvus and get him on because I want to have a little fun. But outside of that, when the team's bad, the team's bad.
Some late breaking news here.
Breaking news bulletin
from Sportico's editor-in-chief that somebody named Michael Andelauer has bought the Ottawa Senators for $1 billion.
Wow, the Ottawa Senators are worth $1 billion. And Monty Williams' son, Elijah, is transferring to Birmingham Brother Rice now that they are in the great state of Michigan. We'll step aside. We are done for the day, but we'll be back in action tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, right here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Meijer's Super Sale is here. Friday and Saturday only. Find super low prices on items like Meijer Family Pack chicken wings for $1.49 per pound and 99 cents per pound green seedless grapes. Plus, buy one, get one free Hormel Black Label or Natural Choice Bacon. Don't miss limited time prices during the Meijer Super Sale. Friday and Saturday only while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See all the deals